Okay, so a different podcast today. So podcast number 2, and we really wanted to be together. And funny enough, we're together actually the weekend before this was recorded, and we haven't had a chance to do this. I said we've got to get this on the show. So we are podcast number 2 today. We are with Skatz from YouTooSpain. Started off as a client of mine, and now I definitely would consider him a good friend. We've been through quite a lot together, which includes around 55 live shows, I believe, which is like 3 days of constant YouTubing, I think. So anyway, but we just want to chat to him and why did he come to Spain? And I think it's going to be great for our vodcast as such. So as Skatz always says, without further ado, here's the man.
Hello. How are you doing?
I nicked your line.
That's fine. You can steal any of my material you want.
Yeah,
do you have puppets and different characters as well?
Not yet, but I'm thinking about it. We're thinking about an Upsticks puppet. An Upsticks mascot. That's what we need.
Yeah. What would you have?
I don't know. Probably somebody. Have you ever seen the emoji with the brain blowing off?
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, probably have something like that, because that's like if you work with immigration and Spanish authorities, that's around.
Brilliant. I can't wait.
Most of the time, so I think we'll have that. I did a video the other day, and I didn't realise I'd said it, but apparently I said, a friend of mine picked up and he said, that's a brilliant phrase, that is. I said, it was a right pain in the Upsticks. That's going to be your new phrase. It sounds like,
yeah, do it. Get some t-shirts as well.
Pain in the Upsticks. But yeah, so that was it. Well, look, thanks for coming. It's a bit weird because it's like role reverse today, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I feel like I don't know whether I'm more nervous or less nervous. I'll just relax back into this chair. I'm in front of the swimming pool as usual, the virtual pool.
Yeah. So I'm in the office as usual. Next time we do one, we're going to do it in a bar with a beer, I think.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Although I'm off the beers at the moment. I don't know how long it'll be before I'm on the beer, but I'll find something to drink. Maybe whiskey.
Yes, yeah, maybe a whiskey. Yeah, I'll join you. It doesn't matter.
Sure. We'll have a whole bottle and then record.
Yeah, I might not have a business after.
Yes.
Not using him to do our visa, but. So what I say, part of this is obviously we've got now so much going on together, with me being on your channel, which has been a bit of a journey, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing. I can't quite remember how it all started. Did I just contact you because we were thinking of moving? Was it just requesting a phone call?
I can tell you booked a call.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, you booked a call, and it was. It's funny enough, testament to our CRM and our system. More testament to Jane, who works for me, because she actually does do the notes properly. Whereas, I'm the dreamer, but my notes are rubbish. Brilliant, James. What did you talk about? I'm going. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah. So, you booked a call. And that was just before you knew that you were going to get your Irish passport.
Yeah.
You're thinking about various ways of coming over, and it was all very, very new. At that point, we hadn't really decided if it was just going to be the NLV we were focusing on, and everybody was looking at everything. And yeah,
no, I knew it couldn't be the NLV because we definitely needed to work, but we were both self-employed in Ireland, Liz and I, so we were trying to find a way of doing it, and I don't think we could have done it as self-employed in the jobs that we've got, because they're not really jobs that are in demand.
No.
And we'd never been able to make a business plan with these, with a YouTube channel that wasn't making very much.
Yeah, exactly. And then you came through with your Irish passport.
Yeah, wow, what a day that was. I kind of surprised Liz with it wasn't the passport, it was the certificate that said. No, actually, the piece of paper that said you've been granted it, and then you have to pay for the certificate after that. But Liz had had a particularly bad day, and her car was broken down, and she was at the garage. So I drove my car down and met her in there was a, what was it called, Mr. Price or something. It's a really, really cheap shop that's got everything in it, a bit like the Chino shops. And yeah, that kind of thing. And I met her in the car park there, and she was all like, "Oh no, and it's going to cost this for the car," and I just pulled out the piece of paper with, "Guess what?" And yeah, she just burst into tears.
That's an amazing moment. I mean, that brings me on to what I was going to ask you, which is obviously now your I mean, what you've done with helping people to move with the channel and everything. Amazing. It's definitely, as you know, one of a kind. I mean, before Brexit, we'd never seen a channel like that, and even after Brexit, it's a community. But why Spain? Why? What was? You also had. What was your initial? When did you go? We're going to move to Spain.
Well, I think even when we moved to Ireland, we were thinking at some point. I mean, that was 2013 when we moved there. And we were thinking long-term plan, maybe we'll retire somewhere warm. I don't know how soon after we got to Ireland, because we loved Ireland, we thought, and especially in the sunshine, but we knew it was a bit damp. But even then, you know, the year before we moved, when we decided to move, we were on a campsite in Ireland in the summer, and it rained. 2012 was an awful summer in Ireland, just throwing it down with rain and wind, and all people's tents were blown away. Fortunately, we had quite a strong one, and so we were staunchly going, we are staying because we love it here, and we even felt like we loved it in the rain and the wind. So we said, let's move here because of that. If we like it when it's like this, then this must be the place for us. Right. But anyway, so at some point over the next few years, we just began to think. We were still watching A Place in the Sun and programs like that, even though we'd thought we'd made the move to where we wanted to be. We still just liked watching it, and Spain looked really good. We'd been to Spain, I think, twice, very briefly. And the first time I was a bit culture shocked because I hadn't learnt any Spanish. And we were in northern Spain, and they don't speak any English there or French. I could speak a bit of French. And I thought, I'll be all right. We'll go over the border. We'll go to this campsite. They might be able to understand a bit of French. They're bound to. They're very close. But of course, they're Basque up there and Galician, and they can speak two languages probably, but neither of them are English or French. So I learned a bit of Spanish for the next time we visited. And then we went on a holiday. Once we'd moved to Ireland, we went to Granada and what's just south of Granada. There, what's that called? The Alpujarras.
Alpujarras, on the way to Montreal, you mean?
Yeah. We were in Orchiva, stayed there in a little village just above there, in a lovely little finca with a pool, and it was just so peaceful. And we absolutely fell in love with it, but we thought, this is going to be somewhere we could maybe retire to. So there was kind of three things that happened that made it all possible, or that it was like a perfect storm when three weird things came together. There was I'd applied for citizenship in late 2019. It was December, I think, and I'd only just sent off my passport for that when my dad was taken ill, and I got the phone call saying he's not well, you might like to come over. Right. And I said, oh God, I've just sent my passport off, I can't get over. And he kind of recovered a bit over Christmas and into the new year, and then he took a turn for the worst. And I got another phone call, and my passport arrived the same day. Wow. And and he died the day I got there. I managed to see him.
Oh, so you actually got there then? That's amazing.
Yeah. The whole family were there, and I turned up, saw him, spoke to him, and then it was within the next hour that he went, which was just it was a miracle, really. In a strange, bad miracle, but a good miracle that I got there.
What age was he?
Early 80s, 83, I think.
I wasn't that old then.
No. No, I mean he'd had kind of a fall and couldn't get up, and he was left in the house on his own for 36 hours, and because he was lying on his back, he got stomach ulcers and all kinds of things, and that set his whole body off into a shutting down mode, really. But anyway, that meant that, you know, months later when the will was read, there was some inheritance. So we began to think, oh, this maybe we can retire early, or at least move early and carry on doing the work that I'm doing, because maybe the YouTube channel will earn me enough. Doesn't matter where I am, I can do videos anywhere, you know, as long as the broadband is good. So we thought, well, that was and then of course we were waiting for the passport, the citizenship, which took 18 months or something to come through. So it was 2021, I think, by the time that happened. And of course, COVID happened, the lockdown happened. We both were self-employed, and we were both doing jobs that involved contact with vulnerable people. So the all work went. But fortunately, the situation was a little bit better in Ireland than it was in the UK. Self-employed people, the government just said straight away, we're going to give self-employed people €350 a week to survive on. And we were both self-employed, so we got 350 each. And I also applied, you know, can we have some of our rent paid as well? Because that was 800 or 1,000 a month or something like that. And we got 70% of that as well. So we ended up actually saving money. We actually made money out of COVID, which is just a really, really strange thing. You know, loads of people were in a panic about what to do, and they were losing money, and self-employed in the UK were getting nothing for months. And we were sitting there just taking the money in and having nothing to spend it on. And we also, at the same time, the third part of the perfect storm was that I was about 17.5 stone, and my doctor, who'd already said that I was pre-diabetic, and I had diabetes, and I tried to be on diets and everything, but I couldn't do anything about it. It just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And he said, you're going to have to take tablets. You're going to have to go on these. And the tablets, I tried them, and they made me very, very sick, and I had diarrhea and all kinds of stuff, and it felt bad. I didn't feel like myself. So stopped taking them, and Liz started to research about fasting and doing the keto diet that seemed to be working for people with diabetes. And we both started it all off. And that's when we started a YouTube channel together, all about losing weight. And we did really successfully over 6 months. Completely, I lost about 7 stone, and she lost about 3. And it was really successful. And the thing is about the lockdown where we were in rural Ireland, so we were way out of the town and way out of any cities. So when they said you can't go more than 2 kilometres from your home, we just got in the car, drove around to a local farm track, and walked around the hills for 10, 15 kilometres almost every day. So we managed to do that without seeing anybody and without kind of breaking any laws, because nobody was bothered. So we got really fit, and I got loads better at creating these videos. So then it was about 6 months later when we called you,
right,
and set up the phone call. So we'd already been doing it, and there was some talk on these videos. It was called the Liz and Skatz channel.
Yeah.
And we gradually started to talk about, can we move? Well, we've got the inheritance. We don't know whether we can move because we've not got the passport yet. And so all of that eventually came to a head, and passport arrived. We spoke to you, and then within, what was that? So it was the start of 2021, and we moved in October. So it all happened really quickly after that.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. So you had a channel obviously before YouTooSpain. You had the Liz and Skatz channel, didn't you?
Yeah. And it wasn't brilliantly successful. I mean, it was for a very small number of people, were watching it regularly, and there was some of them were family members, and some of them were old friends back in Leicester where we'd moved from, and so we were only getting 50 or 60 views on each video, so it wasn't enough to make money out of it.
It's like mine.
yeah. So you've got like about 3 times that many for the short videos now, but it starts off like that, and it's difficult, when you start off. If you're a couple of people talking about themselves and you're talking about being on a diet, there are so many people doing that, and you're just a very small fish in a very, very big sea of a lot of people who have been doing it for a long time and know what they're talking about and know how to make the videos. They've got expensive cameras and they've got sponsorship and all that kind of thing. And it takes ages to get to that point unless you've got a very, very specific niche. And I didn't know that at the time, but you gradually watch people's YouTube channels who say, this is how you do it, and this is what you've got to do. And I eventually thought, well, look, there's a niche that we're already talking about, and that is moving to Spain. And I couldn't see many other people doing it. Really, there's people talking about being in Spain, but of course Brexit was happening. That whole thing, and on your side of it, you were just starting to talk about visas because you hadn't done that before.
No, so we hadn't. No, it was. I can remember, and I corroborate what you're saying about learning about YouTube channels. We're still learning now on our channel, and hopefully, I was just thinking that as we're talking, I'm thinking, am I using the right microphone?
Yeah, that's working. I can hear that.
Yeah, so it is. You just try. You think there's this whole myth about you just start recording. You're gonna, it doesn't work like that, does it? It doesn't. But yeah, I mean, when I could always remember when Jane said, because you sent a message to Jane, support, and that probably was before you were a client of ours.
Yeah.
Because Jane deals with all of that, the before and the stage 2s, whereas I deal with like the visa type things. And at that time, I was dealing with what we call stage 1 withdrawal agreement. So that's when the whole Mercurio, you've got to apply for your permission for residency, even if you've been here for years, started. It was when Boris turned around and said, we're not going to ask for an extension to the withdrawal agreement. Spain went, okay, we now need to get a TIE card. And that's when you contacted during that period. And I remember Jane saying, this Andrew Scattergood has sent a message and said, would you like to appear on the show? Hopefully it'll be regular things. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And that was at the same time we were looking at that time on how to do more stuff. I'd already set up my channel, but didn't really know what I was doing with it. I was trying to get myself out more on social media, and we didn't know what was going to happen with Brexit. We knew we had to be there. We didn't know what service products we were going to be doing afterwards. But I knew that talking about that journey some way was going to help. Which it has, hasn't it?
It has, absolutely. It's funny that we just hit that point at the same moment. You needed social media, I needed help, and needed somebody who was going to be an expert in it.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm. At that point, we were. It worked really well, and it's also something I enjoy as well. And I know you do, but I was like, I was. And I still, to this day, sometimes get a bit nervous, when you go live and you think, well, someone asks you something you don't know. Well, the best answer to that is I don't know. But I can find out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's also the social media does help to keep you on your toes as well, doesn't it? Especially from my end, you're thinking, right, it's not like what my friends are saying, so you go live and anybody can ask you anything. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. As long as they don't swear.
That's it, yeah. Did you know I was a really, really shy, nervous child? I don't know if I've ever told you that.
Really?
But yeah. It wasn't until I was I used to hate answering the phone or making phone calls. Or I didn't like to, because I just didn't know what to say. So eventually when I think I was in my 30s. I'd gone through a pretty bad time in my life, and I was just starting to recover. And I thought, I need to get a job. I want to get a house because I was in some rented accommodation that was awful. So I just thought, I'll get myself on my feet, get a job, and it was in a call center. I thought, well, let's just challenge myself. And then in a call center, the calls just keep coming at you.
Yeah.
So it's the best way. You just got to jump in at the deep end, and I learnt how to get rid of the fear and just to quell it and to do that. And then of course it was at the same time that I started doing a bit of stand-up comedy with a friend of mine as well, and Rob that you've met, and got confidence doing that, and that's in front of a lot more people, and being able to improvise and talk to people from a stage with a microphone as well. So I was always challenging myself after that point to come out of the nervous, shy kid that I was. And I think that's the reason why I became a musician and doing musicals with theatre companies when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Was that was the only way that I could interact with people. I felt fine with a massive audience in front of me, singing because I was comfortable with that, but actually talking one-to-one with anybody was just scary as hell.
Yeah, it's
now I'm doing a chat show.
Doing a chat show. I mean, it's crazy. Funny because when obviously you've been to ours and helped us out with some birthday parties, and it's been amazing. Both it was Isla's party, the first party you came.
It was, yeah.
Isla's party. That was the summer party, and that was just awesome. All our neighbours and everybody there, and actually had a whale of time. And obviously Lara's party last weekend, and some of the guys, some of my friends who were speaking to you before, said it's like two different people. And like really like quiet, reserved guys, like Chris's mate, and everybody's introducing themselves and stuff. Because you didn't particularly say to that many people, I'm going to be performing in a minute. You just had a chat. Yeah. Suddenly they're like, oh, where's he gone? And there you are, performing. They were like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Suddenly wearing a hat and dark glasses as well, and just yeah. I do. I turn into an alter ego, I think, and I've always wanted to be a rock star, I think.
You certainly were. I've got some video. I'm going to put a video at the end of this that's that we've got, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, it was such a. And it's like what your show does, and did you realise? Like, I mean, when you brought, apart from the sort of YouTube side of things, which has obviously a specific audience, but when you do your show and you sing, did you realise what appeal it had for such an international audience? Because at the party we had such an international crowd of people, and every single person was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" I suppose, it was a great. Is it always like that, or did you always chuck in like a La Bamba, or or do you read the crowd? How do you do it?
Well, certainly in the UK and in Ireland, I'd read the crowd, but I made sure when I got to Ireland, they do like you to know some of the local songs and some of the old Irish songs, but they also like country and western way more than Irish music a lot of the time, because they get the Irish music all through their childhood, and that's for events and occasions. And if you get a good session going, which is where everybody just turns up with their instruments, but that's not a gig, it's a different thing, really.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And you just get lots of loud talking, and it's raucous, and then they'll, once they're drunk enough, they'll get up and dance or whatever. But a gig is different. They want the sort of songs that they like, and there's loads of country and western there, so I had to learn a load of that. So I did play to the crowd a lot, but I've always wanted to put in a lot of stuff that's a bit more left field, but still stuff that people would recognise. So I don't know, what's a good example? The song Down Under by Men at Work. They come from a land down under. It's one of those songs that you go, oh yeah, I remember that one, but it's not one of the songs that you would expect people to come out with or put on the record player or whatever. I'm showing my age there. The record player.
Coming back. Coming back. Don't worry about it. Vinyl's coming
back. When I came to Spain, and before I'd only ever played the acoustic guitar and sung.
Right.
It's just wrong to use backing tapes when you're in the UK and in Ireland, I think. But when I came here, I saw so many people using backing tapes as well as playing, and that I thought, well, if I could do that, well, then I've got so many tracks that I couldn't quite do on the acoustic guitar. I couldn't do them justice, and tracks that depend so heavily on bass lines, you know. And suddenly I was doing more kind of 80s music, because that's when a lot of that happened, and a lot of those tracks that were in my head and were going when I was at when I was doing my A levels and when I was at university, all those tracks I've always wanted to do, and I thought, I can do them now, and I can do all of the madness and the ska stuff, the specials and things like that. So I do quite a lot of those kind of songs, and you can have the horn sections playing along. So I got myself a blow-up saxophone to dance around with, and you know, that all adds to the performance of the act. And I've got a little plug-in thing that you plug into any kind of microphone that turns it into a radio microphone without a lead, so I can run around the audience. And I've always wanted to be able to do that. And that piece of tech was only made available in the last few years. It costs so much more to buy a full, you know, the older style ones, which are a lot bigger, and they've got the thing built in. But now you can do it with a little bit of kit that gives you the same option.
That's awesome. It's like technology. It's come on a long way. You can tell by this webcam I've got here, which cost €50. It wouldn't have been this good that long ago, would it? But
yeah, it's got a really good picture for that cost.
Right, because it was a cheapish one, but and was it so? It's like, so obviously now we're down the road. Now we're professional YouTubers, obviously now.
Yep. I feel like it at the moment, because the ones I've released in the last couple of weeks, they've gone way into the, you know, above 10,000, and because I started talking about, I think it was back in November when it suddenly started to spike. I did a video all about the 180 days, about what was happening in France and Spain, and there was talk of trying to extend the 90-day limit and things like that, the Schengen law. And I did this video that questioned it. Is Spain going to be able to change the 90-day rule?
Someone at the door. I'm very sorry.
All right.
See? Well, it's okay.
All right, we can carry on.
See? Hola, buenas tardes. Yes, si puede pasar. ¿Qué pasa? Estoy en una videollamada. This is great for you.
Yeah.
It's the postman, guys.
Fantastic. Should we get him? Is he allowed to be shown on camera? Can we get him?
No.
Christopher Concrete,
And you're not going to believe this. Honestly, I honestly didn't set this up. Brilliant. Never gets
the cup. It's from YouTooSpain. Oh, what timing?
31.
This was one of the raffle prizes. I'll tell everybody. It was a raffle prize to Chris's parents.
Se ve que la firmita en el recuadro.
Y lo doy.
Ya, firmar. Ok. Ahí está. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Right, we're going to open this now. What timing was that? I swear I didn't set
Oh, that is perfect. Yeah.
Here we go. That's the. You couldn't time that there.
So yeah, this is the final raffle prize, isn't it?
Yeah, this is fun because they left, but they're coming back. So it's cool. I promise I won't use it, but I will have it on show for the show.
Fantastic. And I met them at the weekend. That was really nice. Here we go. I've not seen them yet, apart from on the screen. So
wow.
There we go. And it's a blue one, like my blue T-shirt. Oh yes. Oh, the quality's good, isn't it? Lovely.
Look at that.
Nice.
I'm going to place it back in its box.
Lovely.
Because, well, we couldn't have got better timing than that, could you? There you go. And this is because we didn't manage to get together to do it once, and then we couldn't do it the weekend. We said we've got to do this. And here we are doing it, aren't we? So
yeah. Unbelievable. How do these things happen?
I don't know.
It's all about coincidences. The whole thing has been about coincidences.
I reckon the second bit of post is for Lara. vitamin C something. I don't know. So I don't buy all that health food stuff. So it's definitely Pilar. Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. That turned out. So it's good job I was here, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's awesome. Yeah. So where were we? We were talking about channel. Yeah. So your videos. So you're like, I can remember when you surpassed my subscribers, and now it's like if I get 200 hits on a video, I'm like, yay. Yeah. But I mean, we use our videos. A lot of our videos are used. This year we're changing it, but we've always in the past used them also as part of our content we send to clients as well, for repeated questions, FAQs and stuff like that. And certainly in the withdrawal agreement, it was like that because it was such a rush. No one knew what was happening. Everybody kept asking the same questions, and then it was updating so much. It was easier just to say, "Oh, have a look at this video," you know. But your channel obviously has gone off like a rocket now, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Especially, I was talking about that. Yeah, when the postman interrupted was the 180-day video. I put a title that had Brexit, expat, loads of these words in, and hashtagged them as well. Right. Apparently, when you put hashtags in the title, that seems to help, and it seems to be picked up by the algorithm a bit more. And also, if you put some emojis at the end as well, that does something, because I think all of these elements put together, but all of it because it was about something that so many people were talking about at the time. So many people were searching for it that I was watching my figures go up. There's an app on my phone that I look at sometimes once every hour to see how videos are doing and how many people have watched it in the last hour. And this one was going up 1,000 or more at a time. And when it's only been anything between 10 and 100 at a time, and you've gone, 100, I've got 100 in an hour, that's really good. Then suddenly you get 1,000 one. You go, oh, it's taking off, and you don't know when it's going to stop, and then of course it gets to a certain point and it just goes woof, and it just drops off, and you go, oh, I'm disappointed now because I'm only getting like 30 views an hour again, and then I did one the following week, and I thought, let's try and do another one, because there was an update that I could do, and I thought, yeah, let's do the same subject, and that one did exactly the same.
Wow.
And so those are now my two most watched videos. And also we both know about YouTube Shorts as well. These are the ones that are less than a minute, certainly.
Yeah.
If you make those ones, you don't get much advertising revenue from them because they're for less than a minute, and it's all to do with watch time that you get the more revenue. But what happens is that brings more people watch the shorts, and they can go over 1,000, 2,000 quite quickly. But they then come and watch any linked video that you've got on there, and you get more watches. So I've started doing a lot more of those. I made one early this morning, because I've also found a program. It's an AI program that you drop one of your videos in, and it picks out crucial little bits and creates a video that's less than 1 minute long.
I saw one of those yesterday, but it was on Facebook. It picked me up, and then I tried to sign in with Google, and Google said, "Oh no, this is a completely terrible program. You can't have this." So I went, "Oh."
Yeah.
So I tried to sign it with my alloutgoodacre.com, which is my old email address. So before Upsticks brand, that's how I was branded as such, and it wouldn't let me. So I was like, "Oh, you have to tell me what that is," because
yeah.
I noticed the short. We did one short which went off, which was I took a photo of something called whitebait, turned it into a short. We were experimenting on how to get me and Raoul doing it, my son, how to get different, like hundreds of colours go like. Turns out you have to do like frames of a second and keep changing the colours, and then when you play it, it just goes like that. Right, that's on camera anyway. And I said, we'll just use the photo and say, one of the best tappers in Spain, because he loves it. And he thought it'd be funny to do a short. It's not a lot, but and that went off. That's nearly at 2,500.
Fantastic.
Everything else, it's my views. They normally we've got a few which are hitting like 500-600, but most videos hit around 200-300, then tail off. So these updates for the last I don't know, I did the video. The weekly updates seem to be good.
Yeah.
Seem to get a few. So we've had.
You just brought one out, haven't you, today? Was that? I've not looked at it yet.
Today. I'm going to do. I don't. But you'll have to give me some clues on the titles that we're supposed to be using because I'm rubbish, really.
Yeah, that is really important because people search for certain keywords. I've got a keyword search thing which helps. Tells you how many people are looking for that word and stuff.
Yeah. So I'll never use anything. I suppose a lot of it really is just for us keeping in contact with our community as well, and a lot of our community is your community, so it works. And but this year I want to do a few more. We're both very passionate about Spain, and I only about this. And there's so many things I want to do and tell people about because it's almost like a hobby. But then I don't want the channel to be just come a mishmash of Spain. I still want it to be focused on the visa stuff. So it's quite hard, and it's to know what to do.
You might get to the stage where you do 2 channels.
Yeah.
One of one and one of the other, which is what I did with Liz and Skatz and then YouTooSpain. I split it off, even though Liz said at the time, you're already spending all of your time editing and writing and all that kind of stuff. How on earth are you going to be able to do another one? So, and as it turned out, the Liz and Skatz channel just faded off a bit because we weren't getting many views, and the YouTooSpain became successful. Within 6 months, it was. It actually timed with when we moved to Spain. I hit the magical numbers of 1,000. What is it? 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
Really?
That's when you can apply for it, and it was that October. So I had to wait another month before I could do anything about it because, as you know, you have to send off to Google, and they've got to send off something to your address to confirm your address and the country that you live in, and you've got to pick that up, and it's got a code in it, and then you put it in before it can agree that you're going to get money from advertising revenue. So, and we hadn't moved into a property, so we couldn't. So I couldn't set an address. So we had to wait until I'd got a proper rental contract and stuff like that. And so.
I'm still waiting for mine. Mine hasn't turned up because I sent it to the wrong address because I sent it to my home address, and I have my home. I can't get post to my home address. It goes to the post box.
That's what I did. Yeah.
And then they said to me, hasn't arrived. So they said you have to wait 3 weeks to order another one. And then that was a week ago. No, that was 10 days ago, and I've just updated to the office address, which we know we can get post at.
Yeah. No, mine. I had to go to Correos, to the post office, every few days, just to see if it was there. So I actually gradually got. It helped me speak Spanish a bit, because the post office lady refuses to speak English to anybody. She apparently, when I started getting lessons, my Spanish teacher said, "Yeah, you won't get any English out of her down the post office." Because she's always saying to me, "Oh, all these English people keep coming in and expecting me to speak English, but I'm not going to do it," even though she probably can. Know, they should speak Spanish here, which is quite right.
Yeah. I suppose it means it's obviously don't speak Spanish, you can't, can you? But I suppose that's one way of learning, isn't it? So going to administrative offices. So listen, we've been ages now. We said we're going to be half an hour. So because we're going to do, hopefully we can do more. So you'll be on my channel as well, because then
awesome.
Just ride off the back of yours nowadays. Nick, your subscribers.
Yeah, why not? Well, I mean, it's share and share alike, isn't it? It's all about sharing information and sharing subscribers, and it's good for everyone.
It is. I keep telling everybody that. I keep saying, no, you need to, the channels work together. Yeah. But my channel numbers are lower, so it works for me, doesn't it? But it does. I think they do. But and hopefully we can do a lot more talking about, there's things I wanted to talk to you about, like your experience registering as self-employed, for example.
Yeah. Because
I got my own experience of running a business. We're going to be completely different to someone, who's like come over to do it, which is really cool. And loads of other stuff that I think that we've got to talk about. We definitely one day have to talk about. We did it on your show. Is food. So both of ours, don't you?
Yeah. That's appropriate. Well, I'm glad I'm not doing it today because I'm starving myself in advance of the colonoscopy that I'm having in 2 days, which we didn't get around to talking about. It's probably just as well, really, so I could rabbit on for hours about that.
I think it's more it's a massive step, isn't it, to talking about that though to your community. That's huge. I'm not too sure even how comfortable I'd be, and I'm quite open and don't mind talking, but talking about a colonoscopy, kind of say it, I don't talk about it, and getting it out there. That must have been. You said you were shy, you know, you're over that shyness, but that must be a huge thing to sit there and think, right, how, you know, to get out there. For me, it would be.
Yeah, it was. That was the one in recent times that I've thought, oh, should I? I mean, I've gone really anti-Brexiteer on the channel, and I think sometimes, like you think about, you know, not wanting to say anything bad about anybody on your channel because, you know, you're professional. That's the right thing to do. But I've got a bit more scope on this channel because I'm a presenter and it's a show and I can express some opinions and that. So that's not so bad. I don't mind having a bit of an argument on the show if necessary, and that's okay. But talking about that was the colonoscopy. It's a bit weird. But as soon as I put it out there, I got so much of a positive response from loads of people who'd either had it before or were worried about it and wanted to know about it, that it's good. Whereas I'm even thinking of putting a camera up when I'm taking the laxatives. That might be a step too far.
Yeah, why not get your advertising revenue on that? I don't know.
Yeah, I might get some big pharma coming through with advertising laxatives.
I'll tell you, you never know. It's but that's very brave, and I mean, it's a way, you know, taking the channel to a different level, and it's definitely your channel is just amazing. You know, how it engages with it, and how you brought it on. And I honestly think that it's just in its infancy, isn't it? You know, I think it's got to go. If you look at some of the other channels which are out there about Spain, and they're fun, don't get me wrong, and there's a lot goes on, but I mean, they've got some like 70, 80,000 watchers, and I keep looking at yours thinking, well, you know, you're going to be there at some point, you know, because you're scoping, as you say, you've got a bit more scope to express your opinion, which I think is good, because you need to the channel, you need good and bad comment.
Yep.
And the scope that you've got moving forward is just, you know, it's blooming amazing, isn't it? Really. You know? I have some boring guy from Peterborough on every couple of weeks talking about visas, but the rest of it is...
No, we're getting really chatty now, and it's improving as well. You're showing your personality off.
Yeah, let's hope so, and hope that people are moving over, enjoy it. You know, so I want to do these kind of podcasts as well, because it's for me, it's always been a professional channel, and it's a way. I've never been backwards in coming forward. So it's a way for us to get clients. You know, people see us, if they decide to contact us and use our services, then great. You know, so for us, it's a means of advertising. I always sit there and I also think the world is changing. I don't feel you can sell information anymore. I think it's an idea of selling implementation. Give everybody the information, and if a bit like, you know, so a little bit like I was trying to explain at the weekend, somebody at the party, but after a couple of beers, it probably wasn't coming out too well anyway. But I was saying it's a little bit like you can go into the ferreteria and see all the bits for the plumbing, but you've still got to do it. I would still do that, you know. So a lot of people I've got with one client at the moment who would have had his appointment by the time this is aired, and he's been amazing because he's watched all the shows, he's come on board, we're literally there holding his hand, we've got the docs ready in about 3 weeks, you know, and it's been great. And that's you know, it's great to see that sense of community as well. So and it's a bit of a hobby. I like the Spain side of things because it's a hobby as well. So I think the two channels are going to go well, hopefully together, and that we can do more of these on my channel as well.
Absolutely. That was a good roundup. Well done. I like that.
Awesome, mate. Okay, well, look, thanks for coming on, and it's much appreciated. I know you've got a bit of a stressful couple of days coming up as well. So
yes. Yes, it's quite physically stressful. Yeah, I'm kind of, in a very bizarre way, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think, you know what, all these experiences when you're living here in Spain, you know, it's like, and it's going to give you loads of content to talk about. I can tell you that now, because I was saying when we had kids here, imagine if you had a YouTube channel then. I was thinking, oh yeah, that wouldn't have been a good idea probably. But yeah, you know, and this video will go out in 2 days, so that'll be the first, which is the day that you're having it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be in hospital when it comes out. Wow.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get something to watch. There you go. But so hopefully then we can see your update afterwards, and we'll keep adding the links once we publish it, and just keep adding them afterwards. So good luck with that, and I'll see you. So I'll be seeing you on Saturday then.
Saturday morning, yeah. We'll probably swap emails to work out on what on earth we're going to talk about. I think it's cars, isn't it?
I think we said cars this time, and then next time it's going to be the long-term residency, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're going to get Lara on the show as well?
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try and get her on and see if she'll come on. She's been a little bit shy of the show actually lately, but I'll see if I can get her on and she can chat a bit. I think it'd be better if I do the technical side of things. Lara can do the experience, because she's still at this point, right, where I've been working with administration for too long, and Lara's gone away from it. She's come back after working in the school. That's just so stupid. That's so stupid. Why are they taking that long? And why are they doing that? And so she's like head on. In the ITV, the guy says, well, it's going to be 3 weeks to the appointment. She said, why? Well, because it just is. And I'm going, Lara, it just is. And she's going, makes no sense. Tell me why. You know, so she's actually getting things done probably a bit than I would do, because I'm now admin reserved, because I'm, you know, burnt out by it, and she just can't see the common sense and says it out loud, you know. So
brilliant. That should be fun.
Anyway, I'll try and get her on. Anyway, look, thanks for coming on, and yeah, we'll see you on Saturday.
You're very welcome.